last week that the city of Uyo witnessed what should have been the biggest wedding ceremony in the history of the city. A lot of people were very,
Biggest.
yes, a lot of people were very upset with the fact that they were not invited to that particular wedding ceremony. We heard that you had planned a private wedding, one of the very first that we've witnessed in the city of Uyo. So I'd like to ask, what was the reason behind the idea of hosting a private wedding? We know you're a very popular person. You're a business premier. I mean, I think if Akwaibom records about 8 million people living in the States, half of that number should very well know Oga Yenne. Your wedding could have been like a political convention, possibly of the APC or the PDP. So what led to the idea of a private wedding instead?
All right. Yeah, it's actually true that I got married last weekend, and like growing up, have never envisaged a very big wedding. I've always been this kind of person that like a simple, easy, private, and maybe low key event. Yeah, for personal reasons. If not for social media, a lot of people wouldn't be seeing me. I'm actually a very private person, and then I'm actually also a very shy person. But social media has actually, and a lot of people, if they're hearing that I'm a shy person, they will, be wondering how I've learned to come out. But I've always been that kind of very private, very secretive, yeah, and then a home person. So, during building my influence on social media, gaining a lot of people, having to build a community, I saw an opportunity to get married as an opportunity to pass two essential messages. Yeah, because sometimes you do see people say, you people on social media, you live your life on social media, you put everything on social media, we know everything about you on social media. So one of the first reason that motivated my idea of keeping my marriage private and in quote secret until it happened was to let people know that you don't know anybody too well via social media, right?
Yes.
You don't know anyone via social media. The person that is putting out something on social media only decide the one that they want you to see, right? He knows what he wants you to see, and you can only see what he wants you to see. So I use my marriage to demonstrate that. Come on, all the things people think you know all of us, you don't know us finish. You don't see us
You don't
finish.
see us finish.
Yeah, you don't really know much about us, right?
Yes.
You only know what we want you to know. Like on my marriage day, people saw my post. In fact, that day I scheduled post from 5 a.m., 5:30, 6 a.m., 7, 8, 9 to 2. You understand? So I knew that it was going to be shocking to people that by 3 they are seeing, because by 2 I made a post and like, where can I go and eat wedding wedding rice today? And then the next thing, they start seeing picture of like when they got to my he had been posting since morning, right? So
There's
there
been
was a
no
lot
clue
of there was a
now.
lot of background work, you understand? And then I kudos to all my friends. In fact, the first person that I knew about this was Indiong, my friend, and then my boss. And then I started contacting vendors. Some of the first vendors I got to know about the fact that I was getting married was Excel Imagery.
Yeah.
He laughed. I told him, I beg, no post. And he said, have I heard anything? And then was Brightview, got to know later. That was also the first person I reached out, my neighbor who does bridal. So a lot of other persons. The content lady was among the first person that I told, about a month to my marriage that I was getting married. She was like, seriously? So all of them, they just kept to the terms. I didn't need to, threaten anyone.
Yeah.
I didn't need to give them form to fill, you understand, exposure, this is what they call the form. So I didn't need to do a lot. I just told them this is what I wanted. And then when I started sending invitation to friends, family, business associate, 9 out of every 10 of them did not believe. Like the people that even calling me that Saturday and saying, Yenne, until I come there and I see you and I see a woman and I see a pastor, that's when I would believe. So it was just like that. In fact, calling Oscar, well, my brother, I went to tell him. When I told him, I was like, don't do that kind of a thing. Why would you do that? This is an opportunity for people to support you. This is an opportunity for people to help you. I told him, I don't know. Like, I don't do that thing. So I felt he was not going to be able to manage information, right? Maybe he would want to like go on social media, and just cast what we are trying to do.
Yeah.
So I just told him, "Ah, Ipa, that's in a joke."
Okay.
And he
Wow.
believed
Wow.
me.
Wow.
So he even sent me a message and was like, so you were serious. So that was it. I just wanted people to know that you don't know anybody on social media. You understand? You only know what we want you to know. You understand? Like me, I go through some very difficult time. Like December, I had a very serious case. I even had to sell my television, sell some things in my office just to be able to sort out that issue. But I was still posting on social media. I never went there to, ask anybody for anything. So, it's not like we don't have problem, but we just choose to push out happiness out there for people to see. And then the second reason why I did that was also to as somebody that have influence, right? I believe that I could be able to influence a lot of people to also get married without going through a lot of pressure. You understand? I don't have a problem with people who can afford it. Like when I made the post, a lot of people came out and say, "What of my family friends? What of my, I've been doing this for people. Wouldn't they come and do it for me?" I don't have a problem. If you are sure that if you put up a big wedding, you'll be able to raise money. There are people that do event and then they're able to receive up to 5 million, 10 million. You understand? Fine, it's an opportunity for you, right? But my concern is for those young people. There are people that are doing jobs of 50,000, 80,000, 40,000. And then there are women who are ready to marry them even the way they are. They don't just want to move the woman to the house, they just want to do that event, you understand? And then some of them, they have been trying to save money for like 2 years, and then they'll just, like the time they're able to save up to 1 million, the grandmother will swallow shovel in the village, and then they will call her, is a breadwinner. And they, so people even go to pick loans. Severally, people have reached out to me, "Oga Yenne, can you link me to somebody? I need 1 million. My marriage is happening in the next 2 weeks. We need money for this." And then when you now ask them, then they now align the thing that they need. These are not very essential things. Do you understand? These are just things that you can do without. As long as you go to your family, the family of your wife, and then you settle the lease, the thing that they want. Those are traditional things, and they are basic. And the beautiful part is that these things are still negotiable. They will tell you, bring this one. You say, on this list, it is 5. Sir, I can have 2. You understand? There are even family that will tell you, we don't sell a child. So do the one you can fulfill the other ones later. Do you understand? It just depends on the family, right? And then there are people that, like, I've seen people who have saved up, bought things for marriage for over a year. They'll collect the lease and then they'll use like 6 months, 1 year to buy those things small, small, small. And then one day they just go to do. So the major pressure is usually on the celebration.
Actually.
You understand? The decoration for traditional event, the rentals, and then people start giving out buses for people that want to come and celebrate, and then you are the one, you cook for them, and you are still the one that need to provide 5 to 6 buses to send to villages, to send to your family, wife family, to send to drop a bus for your compound people, drop a bus for your people from your office to come. If you are so important for them, they should come and celebrate with you. You understand? Pass through that stress, pay their transport, come down. Do you understand? Or if you want to, you have been able to raise 30,000. The bus is 45,000 or 50,000. You can support them with 20,000. Do you understand? So I don't see the need of people going through all of that. And then when you're done with that, you now come to the one they call the wedding. You decorate the church and then get an event center. If you're in New York like this, I think the least event center now is 500 to 600. They are 800, they are 1 million. That doesn't concern decoration,
the rest of that.
the food. I get me. And then at the end of the day, people go back home and then they are financially stressed.
Actually.
If they are salary earners, before the next salary comes, if some event vendors had to come out and mention names of people who are owing them after they have done like 2 to 3 child dedication, you'll be amazed. And these are not supposed to be. So the reason I decided to do this was, let people now say, if Oga Yenne could do it.
Despite how
you understand
your level of popularity.
Yes.
And all of that.
Of course, if I put my marriage out on social media, a lot of people have, so even without even putting it, people supported me. There are people that just like, wow, guy, you did that. Send your account detail. You just send something to me. Oh, your wife, just take this one. Appreciate your wife. You understand? Send your wife account detail. People have just been sending, support, sending appreciations. You understand? So my own wasn't just to go out there and get money from people. You understand? Well, me, we are not always lucky getting support or getting tip from people, right? But people have still been showing support. People have still been showing in appreciation, right? So the message was actually, I was very, very much interested in influencing minds. Someone would just like, if Oga Yenne could do it. Do you understand? Because when you now look, you will not think that Oga Yenne couldn't afford it. I don't know if you're getting me.
Yes,
You wouldn't think Oga Yenne couldn't afford it. I have the social capital that could raise me 3 to 4 million naira if I needed it in 24, 48 hours.
I think one of the very actions that you took to prove to people that you could actually afford a big wedding was when you gifted your wife. I think it's sort of 1.1 million naira.
1
So,
million 100.
okay, so it could pass the message to a lot of people that you're very much capable of handling the financial
Yeah.
stress
Anyway,
that comes with the wedding.
that wasn't really the reason for
Okay,
that.
yeah.
You understand? I was more interested in
Appreciation money.
yes. Now the thing is this. We waste money on a lot of things that are not necessary.
Yeah. Like you obviously stated.
You
before.
understand? We spent a lot of money on things that are not really necessary.
Yeah.
You understand? And then I also shared how my wife was actually very, very instrumental to making this possible.
Yeah.
Now, it was even after my event that I remember that I have made a post about this in 2018.
Yeah.
All I wanted, and I was so surprised when I got the post, just all I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
The only part was that they covered our veil, and I wasn't truly, when we came out of the car, you understand, we came together. I never knew that they had, maybe one of the security or the protocol or one of the person just was the one that just carried the stuff. As if they told me that thing was to be covered, I would have removed it and kept at the hotel room or maybe put inside the bag. You understand? Not like I have a problem with that, but there are certain things that my mind.
Yeah.
But my home was just like, okay, this lady, aside from the whole concept of in fact, I was the one who decided to spend more. Like our backdrop, we spent over 200,000 just for the backdrop. You understand?
Yeah.
Not talking about how much we rent the chairs that we did, then the decoration that we did, and the whole setup that we had there. That place that you saw, we spent, I don't want to start mentioning figures, right? But the thing is just like, my wife just wanted something very simple. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I am a creative person. I love aesthetics. I love beautiful scenery. I am of the theater background.
Yeah.
You understand? In fact, when I got inspirations of what I wanted to create, I just reached out to one of my colleagues in the theater. He came out and then interpreted everything. And then by the time they presented the prototype to me, it was so beautiful. Yeah. And then, in fact, I spent more than, but I just like, I was so comfortable with what we were able to achieve. Do you understand? So on her own part, she did a lot of cutting out for me. You tell her this one. In fact, we were ready to sleep in this our room.
Wow.
You understand?
Yeah.
And from here, we just wake up in the morning and go for the marriage. It was the photographer that said, Mbano, he cannot work. So when I told my wife, I said, they are insisting that, in fact, the event planner came to my house and was like, Yenne, don't try that. Don't try it. So I told my wife that the hotel that I've checked, the lease room, the one they have recommended is 58,000 naira. He said, no, which kind? They're big. Don't put yourself into all of this thing. Is it their marriage? She was just like, is it their marriage? I was just like, they said we just have to do it so that we'll be able to have fine pictures and all of that. So reluctantly, he just said, so what do you want to do? I just told her I'll get back to her because she wasn't here. So in the evening, I just told her I paid for the hotel and all. So she didn't put me under any pressure. Like when she went to the market, in fact, if I tell you some of the prices of some of this stuff, but they still came out very unique that she got. We say this one, not like she doesn't desire them, but just like at the end of the day, is it really, really necessary? So at the end of the day, I sat down like, okay, I had a budget of what to spend. In fact, I've had my marriage money for a while, and I kept it aside somewhere. You understand? So when it was now time to start spending, you understand? We just pull out money from there And then at the end of the day, I discovered that, you know, we're able to save some stuff.
Yeah.
You understand? Beyond what I anticipated.
Yeah.
And truly, truly, if not for the for the current economic reality in the country, you understand, we wouldn't have spent the much that we spent. That at least would have saved about 2 million from what we spent. You understand? But things are actually very high this period. So for that, for the private or local marriage or whatever as people want to call it, I was very, very intentional about letting people know that you only know what we show you on social media, and also to encourage people. You understand that if Oga Yenne could do it, you don't need to go through so much stress. You don't need to go into financial debt. You don't need to start going around begging people. I am one person that I am very, very aggressive. In fact, I don't like the whole idea of community of friends, marriage planning committee, and all of this thing. Because at the end of the day, we don't end up planning anything. We just come there to beg for money. Do you understand? And then I believe that marriage is not something you're forced on. I can contribute money to support somebody who lost a dad or mom. Death is something we don't plan. But if as a grown person you come up one day and say, I want to get married, that means you are ready financially, psychologically, emotionally, and otherwise. Do you understand? So you don't come putting pressure. In fact, some of the groups, you see the way they putting pressure on people. Sometimes they'll start calling people, Afana, you have not seen your contribution for this as a person. You send in private messages. I do not buy into all of this thing. So those were just my reasons for doing what I did.
Wow, very long conversation that we've had here with Oga Yenne, ladies and gentlemen, and it's getting interesting by the minute. Oga Yenne has mentioned quite very clearly the reasons why he kind of looks favorably to the whole idea of organizing or conducting a private wedding as against the putting out an elaborate wedding where you have all the invited guests and all of that coming in. And I mean, I think your issues are very valid, your reasons are very valid. So we would like to ask the question, what sort of benefits do you see that a private wedding kind of has over a public wedding ceremony, outside the idea of saving financial cost? What other benefits do you think a private wedding has over a public wedding ceremony?
Okay. Yeah, I am of the opinion that I'm not in life to prove a point to anybody.
Yeah.
You understand? Well, for me, there are a lot of things that we were able to do at my wedding that weren't conventional.
Yeah.
You understand? Like we had an interview.
Yeah.
We just had some
Yeah, so
fun
that's,
moments,
yeah.
and then a lot of stuff happened. It was fun and was very brief. You understand? That marriage took less than 3 hours.
Wow.
You understand?
Wow.
Yeah, took less than 3 hours. If not for photography and all of that, would have been at the venue by 1. And my own was at 1, 1, 2, 3, at least 4 year out. But we started by 2 because of photographers. Go here, we got stand like this, So for me, I feel it creates that moment. A lot of big weddings, people don't have that moment, that one-on-one connect. You understand?
Wives,
It's not even with your wife, with your family with your friends.
Okay.
Do you understand?
It's so busy, a lot of persons.
Do you understand? And then also, you can also control who come into your space.
Yes.
Being at a particular wedding where a woman walked up to where the wife was supposed to sit and brought out the white kerchief, and then was cleaning the table.
All of that.
That, like the seat that the woman was supposed to sit. And they said they were spiritual implication for that action. You've had people come around, the ones the ones you do not know. So it also could save you from that. Putting away negative energies. Putting some people that are not supposed to be there. It cost effective. It's very, very it saves you money. You understand?
Yes.
But I feel that it's a moment that should be you, your wife, your family, and those people that are meaningful for you, to you. Do you understand? I don't see a need of bringing a lot of people, and then in fact you will end up bringing people who will look around and always try to find fault. Why was this thing like this?
Yeah, absolutely.
You understand? What kind of decoration is this? The food, why is the food? The food did not even get, it did not even go around. what kind of drink? He couldn't even provide this. So they start looking for things that at the end of the day, but they were supposed to come celebrate with you. Actually. Do you understand? When someone dies and then you go to celebrate the life of the person, you will not start, judging the person. You understand? Why are they trying to carry his body and he's looking and it's very heavy? You understand? You just celebrate life and go home. The whole narrative online, I was careful not to try to use my marriage to try to set as a standard for anybody. I just did what I did. Yeah. The people that were supposed to be inspired will be inspired. Yeah. The people that were supposed to copy it will copy. Yeah. The people that were supposed to oh wow, this look cute. Let me adjust. Yeah. If they are planning marriages currently, a lot of people are reaching out. Yeah. Do you understand? Yeah. Someone even reached out recently. Like, he want me to be like a consultant for his marriage. Wow. How did he achieve this? How did he achieve this? And he agreed that he had a very big budget, but he has a building that he's trying to complete. Yeah. So he had to pause that building just to put in so much money into the marriage. So currently now he said he wants to cut everything and then put back the remaining money into completing his house. Do you understand? Look at that. At the end of weddings, what do you look back to say this is what I did? Yeah. No matter what you do, even my own, they don't talk and finish now. Be the first, do you understand? Last, yes. Nobody looks back and say, he had this, but there are certain things like I gave my wife the money to appreciate her for helping me save this money. Yeah. If she put that money into her business, she will always remember that it was on my wedding day that my husband gave me money that I used to start up something, or that I used to upgrade something. Do you understand? Yes. Imagine like somebody reach out to me now and say, okay, Oga Yenne, for what you did, you inspire a lot of people. Take 5 million naira or 10 million naira. Do you understand? That will be more tangible to me than putting that kind of money into a wedding. Even when I was planning, sometimes my friend, I don't even know who said it, was like, if this thing gets to so person, they mention one person, when they say if this person come and give you like 2 to 3 million naira and say, Yenne, I want you to do a big wedding, what will you do? I say I will not do. You see, if he makes it 5 million, I say I will not do. You see, if he give it 10 million, I say I will not do. Wow. So it wasn't about the money. Yeah. Do you understand? Guy, if I came out, I would have received. Yeah. If I came out, I would have received. I know the little, even when I was not that big at 2020, when I did my father's birthday, people send me support to talk more of. So people should even come and support my marriage. Forget about the wedding. You understand? Because I'll be able to, children will start coming. Yeah. We have a lot of things to do. So this is when people should even support me. Actually, you understand? Wedding is just a one-day stop. The marriage is forever. Forever. So So we've discussed very elaborately on the issue. Now I'd like to ask, because you mentioned the case of Collins Oscar, who you said was not really, you didn't think he was going to be able to keep that secret of yours. I mean, the idea of a private wedding. Did you face the difficulties with other persons as well? How were you personally to also able to keep the secret of a private wedding? I think you're one of the pioneer persons in Uyo organizing a private wedding. Yeah, people have been doing it. It's not okay. Maybe it's because you're a popular person. But people have been doing it. We don't care about other private weddings, but we heard about Oga Yenne's private wedding. Yeah. So he was a private wedding, but he was also a popular private wedding. Yeah. So we'd like to ask, how were you able to keep that secret? How did your group of friends, the ones who you felt like could, absorb the shock? It came to me as a shock. It came to a lot of us on social media as a shock. How were you able to manage the secret? How were you able to manage it from going out, from letting other persons know that Oga Yenne truly intended a private wedding ceremony? Okay. One of the things is that one of the things I did, everybody I engage for services, like my vendors, I did not speak to them over the phone. Oh, okay. I did not. I did not. Because people are always in the midst of people. Yeah. You understand? So you could just, and then most of them also are my friends. Yeah. So imagine telling somebody on the phone, Ikpa, I'm getting married. Okay, finally. You understand? So one of the strategies was that everyone I needed to discuss for anything, whether rental, whether service, on a purchase. When I come to you, so most of them will invite them to my office. Okay, please, there's something I want to share with you. You understand? I'm getting married. So let them do the, the shock. In fact, almost all of them were very excited. You understand? Yes. So let them do the shock, the excitement, the shouting inside. where it is just me and you.
Then you
And then
them,
I'll
calm
tell
down.
you it's a private event. So it's not,
Don't tell
it's not going to
anybody.
be posted on social media. So whatever you want to do, we are going to post after the event.
Yeah.
Can you do that for me? Even some of the people who, at the end of the day, I was unable to engage because it's a group that were supposed, I saw their video online. I wanted their crew, to come sing for us.
Yeah.
So my wife was there that day they came.
Mm.
So I told my wife to make an offer to them. My wife said 50,000.
Yeah.
You understand? They, well, no. Okay, let's go and talk about it. So they got back to me. They say it's 150
Yeah.
for the three of them. I said, well, my budget was 100,000.
Yeah.
They said no, that they cannot do it. You understand? So I was actually impressed that even when I was unable to, engage them, they could still keep it. You understand?
Yeah.
There are other people like that. We just talk because of pricing. You understand? Maybe we're unable to do business, but they just kept it. So, I was actually so amazed that people could.
It didn't
Do
leave
you understand?
amount, no.
So even when we did our post wedding picture, our post traditional marriage, because we did not wear our traditional outfit for our traditional marriage, we just did it just for us to have that memory, have those pictures. You understand? So when we did it, the makeup artist, she did all the videos.
Yeah.
Like just somebody just wanted to carry the news first, but they all had to comport. So I give it to all of them.
Yeah.
The hairstylist, even my fashion designer who came, he did a lot of videos, but none of those videos leaked. In fact, my phone had a problem. I had to take my phone to my technician. He saw all those pictures.
That's surprising.
So I was actually amazed at the level of professionalism that these people actually exercise.
And I think you were somewhat deliberate in the persons you invited to attend your wedding, because I mean, if any random person walked into that location and saw Oga Yenne was about to be wedded to his wife, they could have shouted on social media about
Anyway, they couldn't contain it again because they were the first. The idea was I was supposed to be the first to post. But when I was unable to because of rush, so I just they came to me and I say they can post.
Yeah, okay. So
they just
I think
so the MC
Johnson,
the MC just announced that you guys can start posting. And another one of the most difficult parts of the event was who to invite.
Yeah, okay.
Initially, our plan was 100 people.
Yeah.
From 100 people, my wife alone came out with 84. My wife alone came out with, initially, she was like, who do I have to invite? Who do I have to invite? You are the one that's popular now. So I felt I will have up to maybe she will have maybe 20, 30, and then I will have 60, 70. Bro, when I asked my wife to submit an invitation list, because we had an invitation list, you understand? We had the names, the phone number, because we were sending text. We didn't print any card.
Yeah. Okay.
You understand? And we're also intentional about the card, because sometimes, cards are they are files, like pictures. If you download it, it can be inside your phone. Yeah. You understand? So sometimes you could be with somebody and then the person calling your phone while he's checking something, you can tumble it and tumble on the information. Yeah. And then I also didn't want to use Yenne. All our printings, none of the printers knew that it was me, because I use my name Akan instead of Yenne. If I use Yenne, even at the printing press, it would have gone out. And then we did not attach pictures to anything. Even our gift, we gave out about 150 umbrellas. You understand? We did not brand any of them. We didn't brand. The idea of the umbrella was we got the umbrella so that where we want to use, initially where we wanted to use did not really have shade. So, people would be under the sun. Yeah. So we brought the umbrella. So the umbrella, people were not supposed to know. So where you sit, if some get to where you are, they'll come give you an umbrella. So it was going to be at the end of the event, people will know that the umbrellas, were souvenirs. Yeah. Do you understand? Wow. But luckily, when we got this spot, it had the biggest shade. Yeah. So we didn't have a need for people to use the umbrella. So it now became like a direct souvenir. So as you are leaving, they just give you the umbrella. So even from the branding, we're intentional. You understand? We didn't even put up picture at the venue. Do you understand? So people just saw, even that morning, people saw me walking into the space. And how are you? By 11, people still saw me on 2 lane. You understand? Wow. So when they now finally discovered this guy was getting married, because if I did not go to the venue that day, my decor person would have messed up. I went there, and just one person that I'm very, very, I do not like design errors. And one person that if I spot an error in a design, it will disturb me throughout my stay in that space because my eye will always spot it. I study theater art.
Yeah.
So, and then naturally I just love design. Everything you see in this my house, I'm the one that conceive it and people just came in and execute them. So I'm that creative. If I wasn't doing what I'm doing, I would have gone into interior decoration, interior design, or maybe event decor because I am actually very, very creative with space. You understand? Very, very creative with space, just achieving design, concept, and all of those things. So when I went there, in fact, when my Indian called me and said, wow, but this is looking very, how did he even conceive this? So you see the way the whole venue. So I was like, this one that Indian is telling me, I don't believe it's just me, no. So I had to. They would tell me, go and back. I said, no, I need to go to the venue. And there was no mobility. So I just had to find a way, move down there. And when I got there, the guy just brought one particular funny thing. And he expected me to come and sit in that space. I told him, Oga, I don't want that. So just imagine me walking into the venue when the event have started and I saw that kind of stuff. It would have messed up my day. So I went there at the 11th hour and then ensure that things were actually the way I wanted it. So those are the challenges. Like deciding on who to invite was a big problem. Everyone was important to me. You understand? So what I did is that if you are one of my friends and then you have a clique of friends who will come after you after they discover you came to the event without telling them, I just pause. I didn't invite anybody from that circle. You understand? Like, okay, like a group of friends. This one is my friend, but he also have friends who know me in that circle. So if one person is invited, definitely the rest. You understand? And if the person keep, so I just invited people who were single in my clique, single. So it has been a lot of issues. People are beefing me, and it's not just me. In my village, people are beefing my mother. You went to hide and give your son in marriage. And my father-in-law, a lot of issues. His friends, you understand? In my wife community, do you understand? So it's not been easy. It's just I'm sorry. So because we raise our budget from 100 people to 150, from 150 to 200. To 200 at the point, it was as if we were not even going to have control over it. Because at the point you just check, if this person discovered that you got married without telling him, you will be mad. And funny enough, even the people you expected that were going to be there, they didn't come. They didn't come. You understand? It was after the whole thing that was like, I didn't know that your event was going to be like that. So, so it's not easy. So please, if you're watching this video and you're my friend, you're my business associate, you are special to me, and you don't feel less important, please. I'm so sorry. It was beyond me, honestly. It was beyond me. So please, you all are important to me. No vex again. I know say a lot of you people are angry. A lot of people are angry.
Yeah.
I've been receiving voice notes, like messages, text messages, angry emojis in my DM. And God, it's not easy. So if you want to do it, just get ready. They are going to beef you. They are going to be angry with you. Except it's only your papa and mama and your immediate family that are going to be there. But once you start picking some friends and leaving some friends behind, but life is just like that. It's not every time you can accommodate everyone. So I'm sorry. Please, on behalf of my wife, I am sorry.
No, on behalf of yourself as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I think we have come to the end of our session today. And Oga Yenne, thank you so very much for the time. Thank you for the opportunity of reaching out to you and having you sit with us today to discuss this I think it's a very important conversation we've had because a lot of lessons learned for me personally in terms of following your footsteps, possibly in the nearest future.
We are winning.
Yes, in the nearest future, I could decide to do a private wedding ceremony. I hope that's not so.
I'll be there.
if you'll be invited, sir. Maybe I intend to do just myself and my family members, so I don't have problems with big men like you. So thank you.
Yeah, because once you invite one person outside your family, you can have an excuse that it was just family.
Yeah.
My papa, my mama, my sister. Look, just look at the picture. Yeah. You see my sister, you see my uncle. Yeah. That man that is wearing suit today, that's my mother's auntie, brother. You understand? It's just family. You understand? But when once they start seeing friends, people from your office, You know, so this
This,
person they're more
yeah,
important than me.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
always the issue.
So thank you very much for the lessons. Thank you very much for the conversation that we've had here. We hope that we can come back again to talk about, I think, a more important issue, and that issue could be hinged on how marriage is.
I'm a refuse.
Yeah, how marriage is. I
I'll
think
get to my
you're
refuse.
smiling already, so I think 1 week has been some sort of honeymoon for you. It's been wonderful, but we'll come back.
Now get money do elaborate wedding they do honeymoon now. I just did my house.
True,
I'm
true.
just resting.
Yeah. Well, so thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the session. Please do well to follow Star Biographers on all social media handles: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok for this video. Oga Yenne, thank you so much, sir,
Thank
for
you,
having
sir.
you again. All right.
Thank you.